Hello travelers and welcome to Megalith. As you can see, I have no arms and I'm covered in leather. I'm joking, of course. Welcome to the spawn of Megalith. Here we have armor stands featuring our legacy members, who have been with us since the very first iteration of the server. You may even see them run around future videos. Since this is the first video on Megalith, I want to tell you a bit about the server before jumping into today's activities. Megalith is a cross-platform server, meaning Bedrock and Java players can play together in a Java environment. This is done via the Geyser MC plugin, which I'll link in the description below. Since we want to keep everything accessible for our Bedrock players, we cannot use any Forge or Fabric mods. So we keep it limited to small quality of life plugins that should be non-intrusive for most players. These include, but are not limited to, gravestones, player heads, one player sleep, and various vanilla tweaks, such as fast relief decay and Confetti Creepers. Just fun all around. I'll make sure to include a complete list of the server-side plugins via a link in the description, in case you're interested. Of course, I'm recording this via the Java version of the game, so I have a few mods installed for myself. Most of them are for recording purposes, such as replay mod, FreeCam, brightness, and a few others, but those are a treat for myself, such as single-click farming and Shulker descriptions. Again, I'll provide a complete list of these mods with their Mordant links in the description. If you have any recommendations for other mods or plugins we can use on the server, feel free to post them in the comments below. Now, nobody on this server is what you might call a Minecraft content creator. Most of our players are just people, students, professionals who have a few hours in the week to play together and wanted an easy and social way to show off our builds. We take it nice and slow here on Megalith. Speaking just for myself, I have about 6 hours every week to play and do stuff, so you can understand that we might take the easy but legal way out around here. If that all sounds nice to you, you can reach out via the comments below, and maybe you can even join us in the future. With all of that said, let's show you around Spawn Town. Now, most buildings here have been built in creative mode when we were setting up the scene for our players to join. There are a few big moderation structures such as Spawn, the Megalith and the Pit, and some tweaks to the villagers' default houses. However, all of the other utility buildings have been built by fellow players already. Over here we have the community farms and trades, where you can get iron, food and tools for your adventures. I think I'll be coming back here a lot to make use of the iron farm. The Megalith and the pit below it are two of the most important structures here on the server. You see, this whole world is surrounded by a strong but small world border, limiting how far we can travel. However, by sacrificing specific tokens into the pit, we can expand that border, bringing new resources within reach. Now don't worry, I won't overload you too much with all of this information. I'll explain it all in a later episode if it becomes relevant. For today, I just want to set up shop in the cliffs surrounding spawn, maybe build a little house and get this thing going. Just behind the spawn building is a nice spot that is still unclaimed, so let's head over there before telling you more about my plans. But before we can do that, I need to cross the bay, get over there and get some resources. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go. So, I'll be the first to admit, it took longer than I was hoping to get just to the other side of this piece of water and ravine. So one of the first things that I'm gonna do is build a bridge here, because I don't want... come on! Okay, I have to admit that took a lot longer than expected. I kept dying I kept getting killed by creepers and zombies and skeletons. So two things need to happen very soon. First, I'll need to make some sort of bridge across this cliff so I can get back and forth easier. And second, I'll need to light up this area to stop mobs from spawning. Now you might be thinking, Daniel, you said this was the first day on the server. Why do you have a shulker box filled with copper, blackstone and spawn eggs? That's a very valid question. When we reset the server from season 0, so to say, to this version, all our legacy players lost their progress. This is a very natural thing that happens when you reset a server, of course. However, to compensate for this setback, they were all granted a singular shulker box with some starter goodies, such as torches, food and a bed. Some mid-game goodies, such as blaze rods, and a few base building materials of their choice. That way, getting started was a bit less rough on them, and they were able to get some nice rare materials early game. Personally, I'm glad I got to ask for sea lanterns and blackstone, so I don't have to rely on shroom lights or deep slate for my early builds. In any case, now that I've got my bed and chest set up, there is something I want to show you. So, over here, I would like to build a large tunnel. I can imagine players wanting to travel back and forth from their bases to spawn to use the common farms, but these cliffs can be a pain, as I already noticed. I made a little flimsy bridge here with just a few materials that I have, but for bigger structures I'll need to get a lot more materials. So to do that, I'll just hit 2 zombies with 1 swipe and dig a big tunnel through the cliff here, big enough for any group of players to comfortably move back and forth. Let's grab a blueprint for a moment. Sure, a 1x2 tunnel would suffice, but you know, it's a little bit cramped. A 3x3 tunnel is better, even if you bring your seed, but I personally feel it's a little bit of a tight fit when riding through them on horseback. So I'll just have to up the size again, digging a 5x5 tunnel. Though I want to be able to decorate it nicely, so I need to account for another block on each side, resulting in a 7x7 tunnel, sizing it down to a 5x5 with various blocks such as stairs, slabs, and that should do it. I want to style it more like one of those abandoned medieval mine shafts, so I'll need to get some spruce, mossy cobblestone and lanterns. And to break up the monotony, I might get spicy and create some sort of courtyard somewhere in here. The tunnel itself should be long enough for some fun things inside. And alright, with my blueprint in hand, let's dig in. And here we have it. It actually took longer to put this video together than digging this all out, decorating it and wrapping it up with a bow, but I don't think that's a valuable metric for most viewers. If you're a video creator, let me know. Let's just walk you through it. The entrance and exit need some sort of impressive doorway structure. This time around I was more focused on the tunnel itself. It is supported by thick wooden beams, preventing it from collapsing under its own weight. The combination of stairs and slabs gives it a nice rounded feel, despite it being quite literally a square hole in the side of a cliff. Over here we have a little pop-up moss shop. While decorating this place, I found a slime chunk nearby that I'm digging out with moss, again hitting 2 zombies with one sweeping edge. However, that created quite an overkill on moss, so other people can trade it 1 for 1 with any redstone they have. Diamonds, at the moment, are not that valuable to me. Nobody else has shops going, and I don't mind digging stuff out with an iron pickaxe. It's a nice zen thing to do, I think. Redstone, on the other hand, is going to be really important if you want to make some fun farms and buildings. Continuing into the tunnel, this segment here opens to a bigger hall, with a tree bursting in through the walls. I'm guessing this little pool is also the reason for all the water in the hallway. Yeah, you might get wet feet in here. Further through the tunnel, we have a bit more to go before reaching the exit, where I have some alcoves where I can set up another pop-up shop. Who knows what the future brings. And that brings us to the end of this very first video. I know it's a bit different than what most Minecraft YouTubers do, and I'm not really sure I'll still be making these in a year from now. But for now I'm having a lot of fun making little animations, titles, editing it all together. So while I cannot promise you weekly uploads, I hope you'll enjoy them either way. I could save up these videos and schedule them in bulk, but that would remove any possibility of us interacting together and you commenting suggestions for what next to build. And on that topic, the usual YouTube thing, I would love to hear from you on what to do about the entrance and exit structures. I have a theme in mind, mostly involving stone for the base structure, but if you have a burning suggestion or reference image that you'd love to share, I'm all in for ideas. For the next video, I'll be moving my things to a better storage area, creating a little starter house and getting started on a bridge connecting the tunnel to Spawn Town. After all, I can't imagine people enjoying walking over that narrow beam of death. If you want to see that video when it comes out, just gently tap that subscribe button and make sure to ring the bell to get notified when it does. Like I said, the next video probably won't be coming out next week, so we cannot trust the YouTube algorithm to share it with you for me. In any case, your support means the world for me, so let's make awesome things together. Safe travels out there. So I want to give a special shout out this episode to my good friend Remus, who surprised me for my birthday with a very special in-game cake. He even put candles on it for me. But the real highlight was, of course, the fireworks that went off once we took a slice. I didn't even know that observers could observe cake. Gotta remember that for something in the future. Thank you again, Remus. See you in game.